Bubba hears the wind. Do you hear the wind over there? He's like, the wind is so scary. Anyways, good morning guys. Yes, I haven't posted a video in over a week. It might be like, D-Man, you're getting freaking lazy. You haven't posted a video. In fact, over the last week, I've probably done more work than I actually normally do. So a little bit of a story. So we've been trying to figure out a way, Hannah and I, of creating another valuable product for people for our Rot to Whenever business. So we thought that doing an app where you could kind of like create your own meal plan and a shopping list, that would be tremendous. We've been very fortunate with our online business is that we haven't really had to outsource a lot of what we do. I've been basically able to do all the business and technical side of things basically since the start of it. So we haven't really had to outsource very much, which has been really nice because it's been in our control and we can do things exactly how we want when we want. So with doing an app, I told Hannah, like, I don't want to learn how to code an app. Like, that would obviously take a tremendous amount of time. It's something that we should outsource. So she found a guy, I think he was from Sweden or Norway or something like that, one of those Nordic countries. And on a website called upwork.com where you can hire freelancers. So she basically put out the idea of what she wanted for the app with basically a budget of how much we wanted to spend. And so we hired this guy. It didn't really end up working out. He did get some of it done and we did pay him a good amount of money for that. But the communication between us and him were just completely, it was just awful. So on top of that, the communication was shit. He said that he'd have it done in a much shorter period of time than has basically happened. So we've been dealing with this shit for like 2 months. Hannah basically said to me, she's just like, F it, I don't want to deal with this guy anymore. Let's try to figure something else out. So we thought about doing a website, kind of membership site based, customized meal planner. So we figured this out, I think it was last Tuesday or Wednesday. Today is Friday of the following week. So I've basically been working on getting that implemented at least 10 or 12 hours a day over the last 7 or 8 days. So I've just been working on that and that's why I haven't posted a video. But the membership site that we created is totally epic and a lot of people are really gonna love it and it's gonna benefit a lot of people. So we're really happy with that. All right, what we're gonna be doing today, that's just a little kind of update why I haven't posted a video. Let me just show you a few other little things that we've done and then we're gonna get to making the tiny house a little bit cooler for summer. First thing that you'll notice right here is that we planted our mulberry tree right here. Now, it doesn't have a water source right now. So what I'm gonna do very quickly, either maybe even later today or tomorrow. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bury a 3-way valve right here so that we can direct the water from the washing machine to go into that basin right there for the mulberry tree. And then if we have any other extra water that we wanna use from the washing machine, we can direct it into that bucket right there. This contraption has really started to piss me off. So I'm putting the kibosh on that. So I finish off the shade structures for these fruit trees here. The raised beds, they're doing pretty well. It doesn't look like they're doing very well, but Hannah just replanted a lot of things. We think that a rabbit got in there and ate some of our plants, but we're working on it. We're not sure if this is a watermelon or a cantaloupe plant, but it is just taken over this sunken bed. It is just going like crazy in here. So it's doing really well. We're gonna take a positive from that. So we planted our 3 pomegranate trees just on the other side of the fence here. So we got the 1, 2, and then the 3rd one right here. So I've got a shade structure on this one. So over the next couple of days, I'm gonna work on creating more shade on the west side of the shade structures here. So on that one there as well. And then whatever shade material I have left over, I'll use for the pomegranate trees. Bubba and Dewey are still living the good life. They sit here out on the chairs every single day, soaking up the sun and just enjoying life, right? You enjoying your life? Yeah? You guys got a good life, don't ya? Yeah, good boys. So if you remember my videos when I was building the tiny house and you would see drone shots, you would notice that every roof in Tucson is white, except for the roof on our tiny house. So today, that is gonna change. We're gonna paint it white. So I got some of this white silicone roof stuff here. Solar Flex white roof coating. So what it's gonna do is just reduce the amount of solar gain that we're gonna be getting through the roof. I'm also gonna talk about, just at the end of the video, the proper way of orienting either your tiny house or a house in general in order to get less solar gain during the summer and more solar gain during the winter months. So I'll talk about that briefly at the end, but now we're just gonna go up on the roof and paint it white. Normally when I tie off a ladder, I'd prefer to use bungee cords, but Hannah went to the gym and my bungee cords are in the back of the Jeep. So we gotta use some rope here, and these eye hooks here are screwed right into the siding. This stuff, it's like a 1x6 material. It's screwed so many different places. This is gonna be very secure. View from the top of the tiny house. Look at this amazing view from the top of the tiny house. That's my neighbor's house over there. You can just kind of see it right there. Look at the view. People are like, why would you want to live in this area? Because it's like amazingly beautiful. 180 degrees around. If we look at the other side, you can see that mountain range right over there. Those are called the Whetstone Mountains. So for those of you who have gone to the Kartchner Caverns, that's where they are. That's where they are, just up there. All right, guys, so the obvious reason of, man, this lighting is just not good. All right, guys, so the obvious reason of painting the roof white is that the color of white does not absorb as much heat as obviously something that's dark like this. Or is it, maybe you guys can explain it to me. It doesn't absorb, or does it reflect the heat? I don't know. Anyways, maybe it's a combination of both. Maybe I'm saying the exact same thing. But in this area of Arizona, especially in Tucson and Phoenix, pretty well all the roofs are white just because it'll cut down on people's air conditioning bill. So for us, it's kind of funny because with our solar system, we have actually right at this point when it's really sunny during the summertime, is that we actually have too much energy. So I actually tell Hannah, I'm like, just run the air conditioner pretty well throughout most of the day because most of that energy is going to be going to waste anyways. So you might as well just use it for the air conditioner. So for us, painting the roof white, it's not really going to cut down on our utility bills or anything like that because we don't have any. I do think it's going to keep the loft area just a little bit more comfortable. So this is an important thing to think about with your tiny house or just with any house in general, is the color of your roof. So if it's a lighter color like white, then it's not going to absorb as much heat from the sun. Simple, white. I could have actually gotten a metal roof in white. I decided against that just because I really honestly didn't like the color of all the trim and stuff being white. It still would have looked, it would have looked all right. But I did like this, I think it's like a kind of green bronze color. I don't know exactly what it was called. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna paint the roofing panels white, but any of the trim pieces that you're gonna see from down below, there's still gonna be this kind of like dark green color. So we've got the Solar Flex white roof coating. So approximate coverage per 1 gallon is 100 square feet. So this roof is only about 200 square feet. So we've got a lot of this Solar Flex stuff. So what this says, it lowers roof and interior temperatures. Very good. So the instructions for this are pretty simple. You just want to apply it on a clean roof. This roof is pretty clean. And since I'm not using this to seal the roof, it's just more just for the color. I'm not too worried if there's like a perfect layer of this stuff on the roof. But the standing seam style of roof that we have, I think in my opinion, is like one of the best roof styles for basically creating the most watertight roof out of all the different roof styles out there. It's definitely one of the best. So with the standing seam metal roof, you'll see that there are no screws. There's no penetrations through the roof into the sheathing. But the roof is incredibly secure. So there's these brackets that you can't see that are on the inside of the roof that hold it down, and then you basically use a special tool and overlap the roofing panels so that it basically creates this standing seam here. All right, enough about talking about the roof. Let's paint it white. When Hannah comes home, she's gonna be like, what are you doing on the roof? All right, I'm in a bit of a precarious position here. This is white, I just painted that, and I just did this. This one roofing panel I haven't done yet, but I've done the rest. And there's Hannah. How was the gym? Oh, okay. Tip number one for keeping your tiny house a lot cooler during the summertime, paint it with a white roof coating. The second one is something that if you have a house that's on a foundation, it's going to be a little bit difficult to do this, but it's how your house is oriented east and west, south and north. So when I was positioning our house and getting it into its final parking place, I had my compass out and I made sure this side is pointing east, that side is pointing due west, that side's pointing south, and then this side pointing north. So you want the long side of your house pointing north and south, and then the short side pointing east and west. And so the reason for that is as the sun rises during the summertime, it actually rises pretty well almost due east. When we get closer to June 21st, it actually moves a little bit north of east, so it's a little bit more over that way. In the wintertime, it rises much more so in the south. So as it rises right now in the summertime, it's going to rise straight up like that. So you can see the sun's right up there. So the side of the house that gets the most amount of sun in the morning up until noontime is this side. It's the short side. There's the least amount of wall space as opposed to this side of the house that is actually 3 times the size of this one. So it's 10:20 in the morning right now, and the front side of the house, the south facing wall, is actually still a little bit in the shade. There's a little bit of sun that you can kind of see on the bottom here, but for the most part, it's all in the shade. So all the solar gain is happening through basically the smallest amount of wall space. And then as the sun travels over the house, it's really not going to be getting a lot of sun on the south or on the north facing part. It's just mainly going to be hitting the top. And so since we painted it white, it's going to reflect a lot of that heat. And then as the sun sets and moves through the sky down to the west, in the afternoon, again, we're going to be getting the smallest amount of solar gain through the walls because it's hitting a smaller portion of the house. During the wintertime, the sun's going to be traveling much lower in the sky, and what's really going to be good about that during the winter is that we're going to be getting the most amount of solar gain through the wall. So the house is going to be warmer. The crazy thing is they've actually done studies with this with manufactured homes that didn't have heating or cooling in the house. So they had a house that was pointed just like how our house is, and then they oriented the exact same house 90 degrees to it. And what they found is that the indoor temperature of a house that is oriented the correct way like this one, so on average there's a 10-degree difference inside of the house just by how you position the house. So this is something that a lot of people really don't know about. And it's something that you can easily change with a tiny house. And if you're traveling around in an RV and you're parking somewhere, is if you can actually change the orientation of how you're parking, of how you're parked your RV, then you can keep it much cooler in the summertime. Awesome guys, I hope this video helps. The consistency of my videos is going to be going up exponentially over the next little bit. So awesome. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Catch you on the next video. Talk to you soon. Peace.